Hello everyone, welcome back from my channel. Today we are going to do the exercises from Cambridge Primary Science Workbook 5. 6.1 The Earth moves around the sun. Focus. Question number 1. What shape is the Earth's orbit around the sun? Slight ellipse. Question 2. In which direction does the Earth orbit the sun? Anticlockwise. Question 3. What is an imaginary line labeled X? Earth is X. Question 4. What is an imaginary line labeled Y? Equator. Question 5. How long does it take Earth to complete its orbit around the Sun? 365.1 days. Question 6. Find the position of Earth labeled June. Which month will Earth be at when it reaches the following points? C. September. B. December. A. March. Question 7. What is the length of day and night all over the world in positions A and C? 12 hours. Practice. Question 8a. Which hemisphere is having a summer? Northern. B. Explain your answer. The northern hemisphere is tilted towards the sun. Question 9a. What will the length of day be at X? 12 hours. Question B. What time will sunrise and sunset be at X? Sunrise 6 or 6 a.m. and sunset 18 or 6 p.m. Question 10a. If you live at Y, will you need to wear a thick coat outside? Yes. B. Explain why or why not. It is winter near the South Pole with long hours of darkness. Question 11. Which month of the year does this diagram represent? This diagram represents June. Question 12. How long does it take the Earth to complete one orbit around the Sun? 365.4 days. Question 13. On the diagram, color in the area having night on each Earth. Question 14a. In position A, what season are people experiencing in the Northern Hemisphere? Summer. Question B. Explain how you know this. The Northern Hemisphere is tilted towards the Sun, or the Northern Hemisphere is having more hours of daylight than darkness. Question 15a. In position C, what season are people experiencing in the Northern Hemisphere? Winter. B. Explain how you know this. The Northern Hemisphere is tilted away from the Sun, or the Northern Hemisphere is having more hours of darkness than daylight. Question 16. What is the length of day and night everywhere on Earth in position B and D? 12 hours. Question 7. On the diagram, label the month that each Earth represents. Question 18. For how many days of the year will the Earth occupy the positions shown on the diagram? Explain your answer. Only one day. The Earth is continuously moving in its orbit around the Sun. 6.2 Seasonal changes. Focus. Here is some data about sunrise and sunset in Karachi, Pakistan. Question number 1. Complete the table by filling in the length of day column, then write longer or shorter for each line in the last column. Question 2. Identify the pattern shown by the data for the length of day between March and June. The days are getting longer. Question 3a. Is Karachi going from spring to summer or from autumn to winter between March and June? Spring to summer. B. Explain how you know this. Cambridge is in the northern hemisphere. In June, the northern hemisphere is tilted towards the sun and gets longer days. Question 4. Explain the data in the past 6 months line. This will be September. Cambridge will be having autumn and day and night will be similar in length. Question 5. What is the difference between animal migration and hibernation? Animal migration is when animals move from one region to another in search of food. Animal hibernation describes how an animal's body slows down and the animal becomes inactive for a period of time. Practice. The graph shows the sunrise and sunset times for Doha, Qatar. Answer the questions above the graph. Question 6. What causes sunrise and sunset? The Earth spinning on its axis. Question 7. What does the shaded area represent? The length of day. Question 8. What pattern does the graph show between January and June? Days are getting longer. Question 9. In which months do you think Doha has summer and winter? June, July, and August. Question 10. What causes the pattern shown on the graph? The Earth orbiting the Sun once a year and the tilt of the Earth's axis. Challenge. Arctic terns. Arctic terns are seabirds which fly about 40,000 kilometers each year. That's about equal to the distance around the Earth. These birds experience summer in the Arctic and summer in the Antarctic. Chicks hatch in Greenland in the summer. In September, the parents and the young birds fly all the way to the Antarctic to feed during the Antarctic summer. They feed on small fish in the White Sea. In April, they return to the Arctic. An Arctic tern can live for 25 years. During its life, it can fly 1,000,000 kilometers, nearly 3 times the distance from the Earth to the Moon. Question 11. Does the Arctic tern migrate or hibernate? Migrate. Question 12. Give 2 reasons why the birds do this. They migrate to warm places to have their chicks and to feed. Question 13a. During which months of the year are the Arctic terns in Greenland? June, July, and August. B. Explain your answer. Because this is summer in Greenland. Question 14. During which season do they fly south? They fly south during autumn. Question 15. Which ocean do they fly over? They fly over the Atlantic Ocean. Question 16. During which season do they feed in the White Sea? They feed in summer in the southern hemisphere, December to February. 6.3. Plants and animals are adapted to different environments. Focus. Question number 1. Identify each plant A to D. Choose from water lily, tropical plant, cactus, and fire tree. For each plant, say what type of environment it is adapted to. Use the words hot, cold, wet, dry in your answers. A. Cactus, hot, dry environment. B. Tropical plant, hot, wet environment. C. Water lily, wet environment. D. Fire tree, cold environment. Question 2. Match one of the following adaptations, number 1 to 4, to each plant A to D. 1. Large leaves that can lose water. B. Tropical plant. 2. Large flat leaves that float on water. C. Water lily. 3. Needles instead of leaves that do not lose much water. D. Fire tree. 4. stones instead of leaves, which lose very little water. A. Cactus. Question 3. Identify each animal E to H. Choose from polar bear, fish, wading bird, monkey. For each animal, say what type of environment it is adapted to. Use the words hot, cold, wet, and dry in your answers. Wading bird, wet environment. Fish, wet environment. Polar bear, cold environment. Monkey, hot, wet environment. Question 4. Match one of the following adaptations, number 1 to 4, to each animal E to H. Number 1. Long arms and legs to climb up trees and swing on branches to get food in forests. H. Monkey. Number 2. Long legs to wade in water. E. Wading bird. Number 3. Thick layer of fat and fur to keep warm. G. Polar bear. Number 4. Gills to get oxygen from water. F. Fish. Get this picture is of an emperor penguin. This animal lives in Antarctica, which is very cold and full of ice and snow. Emperor penguins hunt for fish in the sea. The female lays one egg. The male keeps the egg warm while the female hunts for food. Read about the adaptations this animal has to survive in such a cold, icy environment. The penguin's nostrils take in heat when the penguin breathes out. This warms the icy air that the penguin breathes in. 3 layers of feathers to keep body warm. The feathers are oily so that the penguin stays dry while it is on land. Flippers for swimming. Streamlined body shape for swimming fast. Layer of fat under the skin to keep warm and to feed off in the weeks of the penguin does not eat while he is looking after the egg. Special fold of skin to cover egg which rests on its feet. Feet are standing on the ice. They have good blood supply to keep warm. Feet are also strong and help penguin to swim fast and catch fish. Question 5. Make a list of the adaptations an emperor penguin has to survive in a cold, icy environment. Use the headings below. Keeping warm. Nostrils take in heat to warm up icy air. 3 layers of feathers to keep body warm. Oily feathers to keep body dry. A layer of fat under the skin. A good supply of blood to feed. Getting food. Flippers for swimming. Streamlined shape for swimming fast. Strong feet for swimming. Layer of fat to feed off when looking after the egg. Looking after the egg. Special fold of skin to cover the egg and keep it warm. Layer of fat to feed off when looking after the egg. Challenge. Adaptations of frogs. Frogs have many adaptations that allow them to live either in a wet environment or a dry environment. Frogs may breathe through their skin or use their lungs. When they are in water, oxygen from the water is dissolved into the frog's thin skin. From there, the oxygen passes through the walls. Frogs have many adaptations that allow them to live either in a wet environment or dry environment. Frogs may breathe through their skin or use their lungs. When they are in water, oxygen from the water is dissolved into the frog's thin skin. From there, the oxygen passes through the walls of the blood vessels into the blood. When on land, frogs are able to breathe through their lungs at the same time as with their skin. Their lungs are a much more efficient way for frogs to get oxygen. Frogs can close their noses to prevent taking in water into their lungs when they are swimming. A frog's skin is covered with a slimy substance called mucus. The mucus stops its skin from drying out. Frogs replace their skin weekly by pulling off old skin to reveal new skin underneath. A new skin every week makes sure that their skin stays soft and coated with the productive mucus. Frogs have webbed feet that allow them to move through the water more efficiently. Their strong hind legs help them to swim and leap better when they are on land. They can see very well even in muddy water and in the dark. Question 6. Use the information in this case study about frogs to complete this table. Part of frog, adaptation in water, adaptation on land. Breathing, can breathe through their skin, can breathe using their lungs. Nose, can close to stop water getting in while swimming. Skin, renew every week and cover in mucus to stop it drying out when on land. Legs and feet. Web feet to help them swim. Strong highlands for swimming. Strong highlands for leaping. Eyesight, can see well in muddy water, can see well in the dark. 6.4 Adaptations for predators and prey. Focus. Question number 1. Identify 3 predators and 3 prey in these pictures. Match predator with its prey. Lion is predator and antelope is prey. Shark is predator and small fish is prey. Eagle is predator and rabbit is its prey. Question number 2. For each predator, give 2 adaptations it has that make it a successful predator. Shark, streamline shape, fast swimmer, sharp teeth. Eagle, fast flyer, strong sharp claws to catch and grip prey, sharp beak, good eyesight. Question number 3. For each prey, give 2 adaptations it has that help it to avoid being eaten by its predator. Small fish keep together in groups, streamline shape, move fast. Rabbit, fast runner, camouflage, eyes at side of head for sideways vision. Practice. Owls live in trees. They are predators that hunt at night. Fan-shaped ears, large eyes set in front of their face, sharp hook beak. Can move neck in almost a complete circle. Fringe feathers on wings muffle sound. Pattern brown and gray colors. Sharp claws. Question 4. List 7 adaptations of owls. Describe how each adaptation makes owls very successful night predators. Large eyes that can see and focus on prey a long way away in the dark. Sharp hook beak is good for tearing prey apart. Neck movement allows the owl to watch prey all around it. Fringe feathers muffle sound, so prey does not hear the owl flying. Pattern coloring blends in with woodland environment. Sharp claws to grab and hold onto prey. Question 5. Use secondary sources such as the internet or library books to list examples of the prey that owls hunt. Large owls catch prey such as rabbits and squirrels. Smaller owls catch prey such as mice, scorpions, lizards, snakes, frogs, toads, birds, and bats. Question 6. Suggest adaptations which the prey has in order to avoid being caught by an owl. The best adaptation would be to hide underground in a hole or burrow at night when owls are hunting. If they are outside, they must also have good night vision to see the owl and they must be able to run fast. Challenge. Choose a predator and its prey that lives in your country. Do some research to find answer to these questions. Question 7. Name the predator and prey. Question 8. Describe the environment in which the predator and prey live. Question 9. Describe the adaptations of the predator. Question 10. Describe the adaptations of the prey. So, for those answers, you can choose a predator and prey from your country, and you can do research to find the answer by your own. Thank you so much. See you in the next video.